Hi, this is Angie DeArth from Inland Professional Title, and this is week number 3 on seller financing. The first week we talked about seller financing, also known as creative financing, when the seller is desiring to be the bank carrying the paper. And then we have the choices of how he takes the paper. Is it a note and deed of trust? We talked about that last week. And this week we're talking about the real estate contract. So the real estate contract, it's kind of like buying a car. You don't get the title to the car until you've paid for it in full. So on a real estate contract, your closer is going to prepare a contract, and the contract is going to set out all the parties' names, the legal description, the parcel number, everything about the payments, how much is owing, the monthly payment, the interest rate, when the payments are due, when it's all due and payable. Sets out everything that promissory note sets out. And then it goes and sets out a lot of the language that the deed of trust sets out. Talks about foreclosure. And foreclosure for a real estate contract, it's the same in the state of Washington. Everybody does it exactly as our law says it should be done. The time frame, and it is an easy process. It's an easier process to foreclose on a real estate contract than a note and deed of trust. The difference is, as I talked about last week on the note and deed of trust, the seller has the choice of suing judicially or non-judicially. So they could say, I want that property back, or no, I don't want the property back, I just want the money. On the real estate contract, they're just going to get the property back. So kind of the differences on that. So now on the real estate contract, what will happen at closing is your closer is going to prepare a real estate contract. She's going to fill in all the information that we're going to get off of the 22C, and that is the document that realtors will complete, putting all the information on, so we can then populate it to this document on who the parties are, interest rate, all those kind of goodies. So we're going to prepare that document and we're going to record it. So what will happen at the courthouse is we're going to record a real estate contract, and when the purchaser receives their title report, it's going to show the seller is still vested in title. Title has not passed. But then you see an exception on that title report where there is now a recorded real estate contract between the seller and the purchaser. So the purchaser has what's called a purchaser's interest in that property. Your closer is also going to prepare, at the time of closing, a document called a fulfillment warranty deed. So it is a deed from the seller to the purchaser. It has the legal and the parcel number. The seller executes it at closing. It is notarized. But that original document is not recorded until the purchaser has paid the contract off in full. That document is normally placed in an escrow collection, and we're going to talk about escrow collection next week. So the document is signed at closing. Everything is all executed, notarized, so it's totally out of the seller's hands at that point, but it's placed in a holding pattern, so to speak, until that contract is paid in full. So next week we will talk about escrow collections and why you should have them, how important they are. And I appreciate you listening in to Inland Professional Title. We'll see you next week.